Here we go. We're back. It's co-op action live right here on Random Mania. It's a beautiful Saturday evening, June 22nd, 2019. We got game 2 going on. My name is Wickliosis. I am the Smooth Talker, and I'm joined tonight by a rare treat. It's lead developer Nitz. How are you, Nitz?
I'm good. Co-op's good. It's summertime. Little summertime co-op action. What more could you ask for on Saturday night?
Absolutely. This is still the Sweet 16. It's going to be the left side of your screen, team SolarNova, that's Solaris Drix, and Hypes Nova. Oh, no, yes, that's correct. And they are up, this is best 2 out of 3. They're up 1 game to nothing, leading Duckling Eternal so far. They won, it was just a few days ago, actually, that Solaris Drix and Nova were able to win that in very dramatic fashion, Nits. It was a tough endgame, a tough Warmech, who is required as well. And Hypes Nova pulled out a Zap helmet and exiled to the 4th dimension both Warmech and Chaos.
Unbelievable. Warmech and Chaos. It's getting crowded in the 4th dimension. Alright, so they were up 1-0. What does SolarNova have to do to get back in? Tie this one up.
Well, SolarNova is actually leading 1-0. So we're taking a look at our screen right now, so it'll be just a moment. We're working on filling in the names. We know that the left-hand side of the screen is Solaris Drix and Hypes Nova, and the right side of the screen is Duckling Eternal. So if you give us just one moment, fans, we're going to work on that behind the scenes right now. Nitz, can you tell the fans while we work on that a little bit about what the odds are of hitting like a zap spell on a Chaos or a Warmech?
Yes, imagine my surprise. Will says they do it twice in the same game. So for any enemy with sufficiently high MDef, like Warmech and all the final bosses, you have basically a 3 out of 256 chance when they also... Well, in the case of Zap, the accuracy is so low that MDef is all that matters. And so slightly more than 1% of the time, you're going to get that attack. And the same is true the other way around. When the enemies use spells like Rub on your party, even if you resist those elements, 3 out of 256 times, you're going to get you right through your resistance. So it can be frustrating, it can be painful, but that 1% swing is part of the charm that gives this game, you know, those swings that there's always hope and there's always fear. And that's kind of the fun of FFR.
It definitely is. We are still getting the team names and the players in there, so bear with us just one more few minutes. Excuse me. Big ups on the development side, Nitz. I know you do so much work with that. Meridian BC and the job that he did. This is his baby, cooperative mode, and he's done such a great job to get this up and going that we have its own small summer one-off tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty special that the whole thing was implemented outside of the Final Fantasy randomizer codebase. So it's generic enough that, you know, someday it could be used for other purposes. But in the meantime, because of that, it was able to be developed separately and just sort of thrown in as a surprise. Hey, we got, you know, Meridian got this feature working. And it's pretty spectacular what it does. Combination of emulator plugins and a server on the internet that relays, you know, information back and forth between the team to allow them to share information and, most importantly, share the key items they receive through the course of the game. You'll see those notifications popping up on the player streams, and then, you know, as part of that, they're also allowed to communicate with each other in voice chat through Discord while they're playing, giving them the ability to share information verbally as well as sharing the items they find in game. And that's the magic of co-op, and it has completely changed you know, the metagame of how you play FFR when you have a teammate.
Okay, it looks like we have everything all set up. Thank you very much, Nitz. Once again, he is one of the lead developers, one of the leaders in Final Fantasy Randomizer. He is Nitz __ on Twitch. My name is Wickliosis, just as it sounds, right here on Twitch. In the background, Melee Wizard. Taking care of the tracking, he was able to get all the names up there. We certainly thank him very much. And it looks like we've got a countdown and our players are about to start. Left side of your screen, SolarNova leads 1-0 in the best of 3. Duckling Eternal going to try to win this match and attempt to move it on to a game 3. Now, it's the winner is they get to move on to face a team called the Game Changers.
Are you ready for the winners? Will, being one of two members of the Game Changers, gets a chance to spy on the competition here, looking down from above.
And we are just about to get underway. And we are underway. Nits, we're playing. Do you see anything, Nits?
Not
Okay,
yet.
got one of them. Okay, we missed
there
a
we
little
go.
bit. There we go.
Got it
Okay,
now.
we've got Solaris Drix in the Temple of Fiends. It looks like the Canaria Castle might be Temple of Fiends. I'm not quite sure. Upper right-hand side of your screen, Dark Moon enters the original Temple of Fiends. It has been shuffled. Entrances are shuffled. It is the Temple of Fiends, so at least we know that so far. And the pack of imps and gray imps or wolves and bunch of jerks just took out Solaris Drix there.
Yeah, and we see SolarNova crossing the bridge early and heading east. He already reset once, I believe. He ran some pretty ugly random encounter on his way to the Provoca entrance as well. So, despite the shuffled entrances, the Temple of Fiends is the Temple of Fiends. So you can put that down on your tracker if you're following along at home and get ready because we'll have to come back here late game too.
Definitely we will. Solaris Drix pulls Garland. Gonna attempt to take Garland out. We missed some of the magic. There's Stinger from Garland. That's just gonna poison most of the light warriors for Drix. Dark Moon's closing in on also taking on Garland. And Nova has made it to Provoca. The towns themselves are not shuffled, so we're guaranteed level 2 magic here. Drix has rescued Princess Sarah. There's Life, level 2 magic. Life 1, that's good. Along with
So he's
Bane,
level-
Fire 3, and Confuse.
Excuse me, he's rescued the princess, but the trick with entrance shuffle is since we don't know where the princess lives, we can't warp there because you might never be able to get back. Could cause a soft lock. So you've rescued her, but you're going to have to find her castle because I'm afraid, Wilclosis, that the princess is in another castle.
Nova, as SolarNova has separated with Drix down at Canaria. Nova is taking on the pirates. Lightning 3 looks like was in level 1 black magic. He uses that to dispatch of that. Let's see what Bicky has.
Question from chat. Who won the first round? I believe SolarNova on your left-hand side took the first round. Duckling and Turtle looking to tie it up tonight, or they'll be on their way home. Bicky downgraded. Hard times. Had to sell the ship. Hands over his only canoe, though. So we've got some action on the water, but it's not the big ship that he's used to. It's a little two-seater, trying to save fuel.
Also, we saw the Mystic Key is the vendor item. That's for sale. It's only 7,000 gold, and that's going to be available in Provoca. As Min the Mage, digs deep into a shuffled dungeon. He had a volcano floor, then he found a Cardia treasure room over in Matoya's Cave, the original Matoya's Cave entry. He's got no save items, so he dug that out. Now he's going to try to head back to either Canaria or Provoca. He's going to head back towards Canaria as his partner Dark Moon is leaving. Now he's headed towards the original Dwarf Cave entrance, it looks like.
Yeah, he just wiped to some cremate Gerwolves, and so he's headed off the other way now. So, early Mystic Key available for $7,000. That's just kind of out of these runners' price range at this point. Would you start checking key chests right away if you got it? Go back to Temple of Fiends right away?
Yeah, I would, certainly. And then I would save outside. You see the cabins there for sale, 157 gold. They're in Canaria. I would have gotten a couple of those saved outside. Check the trap tiles, number 1, and try to see what's in those 3 chests, and then either just reset out or try to get it out.
All right, good news for Dark Moon. Goes into the Dwarf Cave, finds Matoya's Cave, picks up 9,000 bucks and a flame sword. Excellent weapon for his fighter and enough cash for that Mystic Key. We'll see if he heads back to Provoca right away.
We can tell you that Solaris Drix has purchased the Mystic Key, so that Mystic Key has been picked up along with the canoe for Team SolarNova.
Now here's a fun little trick. FFR co-op developers hate it, but with this one little trick, you can buy the key, and after it synchronizes to your teammate, you can simply reset, load your save file, get your money back, and then the key will synchronize back to you. So that's a free key once you have the 7,000 bucks.
Min the Mage now doing his shot over in Provoca. The Pirates pick up their canoe very shortly. Solar Strick's going to check the weapon shop. Anything for sale? It's a wear sword. Minochi, one of Minochi's favorite weapons, the Great Axe, is for sale.
Well, you know, cuts faster than a handsaw anyway.
Min the Mage now takes on the Pirates. Yeah, Dark Moon and Min the Mage. And they're both Ducklings at this point in time. They didn't get a chance to enter our most recent 2019 spring tournament, but they joined up with crew. They did, commentary. They've done tracking. They've done it all. And now they've jumped in the Duckling pool, and they wanted to play, so they named themselves Duckling Eternal.
Well, they won't be Duckling Eternal for long if they find some success in this tournament. Meanwhile, other side of the screen, SolarNova has made it down to the Crescent Lake entrance already, and he's going to visit some practitioners of just some, exercise activity. Once he gets around to it, he's going to check the shop. So we do have random weapon and armor shops, so you never know what treasures you might find.
There's an ice sword for sale. That's a good weapon. Can't quite buy it with 151 gold. Not much in level 6 white magic. Wall was available in the second slot. And not much in level 6 black magic either.
Top right, Dark Moon Firelights in the asterisk floor of the Sky Castle. Judging from that sage green, it's a color you never see in the vanilla game. I think it's a special palette assigned to Elfland Castle, so I'm pretty sure that's the entrance he went in. We'll see if that proves out to be true.
Nova picks up the floater from the Circle of Sages. He heads directly to the Ryukon Desert. SolarNova is in the air at the 6-minute mark, as it looks like Dark Moon has found an eye on the asterisk floor. He's going to try to get it with Lightning 3 and probably get out of here. And Dark Moon's partner, Min the Mage, he's headed towards Crescent Lake to potentially get his floater. Funds look pretty low to me, Nitz. I gotta think that getting some gold is a high priority right now.
Yeah, man, you gotta rummage through. I mean, once you have the airship, you can just start cruising entrances. You can look for easy stuff. We've got a dead aisle underneath Bahamut first floor, and not much there for SolarNova.
We did see, I believe it was Life 2, was also available. Level 1 white magic was in there, I believe I saw it. We didn't get a chance to see that earlier, so we'll definitely keep that in mind. As Nova is just flying away as fast as he can. Min the Mage enters the Ryukon Desert. He's going to use his floater. He's going to get in the air at the 7-minute mark. He's 1 minute behind.
Dark Moon, playing with fire. He's got one red mage with 30 HP. He's trying out the asterisk floor, just, I think, for the intel. He runs into Manticores. He's dead, but he knows whether or not he wants to go back. Just check that last room, I think. Nothing else here that he was too interested in, and then he's going to go get his airship. One of the things that's important to note is that these runners are basically going to be full clearing everything for a long time. The format of this co-op tournament has 8 loose items, give or take, and that is way too many to, accurately keep track of. You're checking every chest until you're in go mode, and I don't think there's any other way to play it.
Min the Mage jumped in the airship and headed to the original volcano entrance. And he quickly found the mermaids. No encounters on this floor and lots of chests. Does he find one of those 8 loose items? The ladies will get out of his way, as they do.
Man, mermaids in lava. That's some tough ladies. And he does find a key item. Check that out. The adamant. Teammate not far at all from heading around. Still got a bit of a walk. Gotta take that canoe and get all the way back. But, yeah. Dwarves nowhere to see. Look at that. Another one. The bottle also.
Wow, big find for Team Duckling Eternal. They need this match, Nitz. I mean, their back's up against the wall. They have to win this. You see the little duck? It's right there. That's their team logo. They got to win this to force a Game 3 for the right to get after and try to take out the Game Changers in the Elite 8.
Check that out. And Excalibur as well in there. So, mermaids just stacked.
It's definitely very good to Team Duckling Eternal, as Nova's fighting. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, he's headed back to his airship. He said it was airship to get there. Nova's in the air at the 9-minute mark.
Now it's just a frenzy of entrance checking and coordination with your teammate to try to route this as efficiently as you can without, flying back and forth across them, just wasting time. He's going to start with Sarda's entrance, which is a classic, and right away we find Carry Floor. Just one chest on there, but you can mark that off in your home trackers as well. Carry is not guarded by anything.
Yeah, one chest, one fiend. We don't have fiend shuffle on or anything like that. Also of note in that floor, the link chest. There's a couple other chests on the floor, but they actually have all the same contents, and it's linked to that that volcano floor. I think it's 4. We call it the Agama floor nets. That's checkable here because that other floor could be buried.
Yeah, there could be a valuable item there. The sanity checker is generally not going to require you to check the more obscure links for progression, but you could always find a valuable piece of gear in one and in a place that would be just a lot more work to get to the other way.
Slayer's Drix pausing as he's found Elflin Castle. Objective NPC is shuffle on. Dr. Oon is actually in the new Elflin Castle, which was at the end of the Star Room. But Slayer's Drix realizes he's got the Mystic Key. He can check some keylock chests. They have not found the mermaids yet, so it looks like that.
And just in time, Darkmoon Firelight receives the key, as he's now going to check these chests. So let's talk parties for a second. Darkmoon Firelight, Fighter, Red, teammate, Min the Mage, got a Thief in there at least. On the other side, we got two, Fighter, Red, Black, and Fighter, Red, White, Black. What's your favorite party tonight, and why?
It is not the double fighter one. That was something that I used to personally like. Fighter Rainbow for Drix is pretty classic and pretty normal. It's none of these, actually. Double Fighter, Double Red doesn't really work for me personally for Darkmoon, and Min the Mage doesn't have a killer at all. So we clearly know it's going to be Darkmoon who's going to try to end this game and win this match for Duckling Eternal. This is a design for Min the Mage's party makeup to do some damage as far as exploring. I like a couple red mages, I like a black mage, and I like a killer. Obviously a black belt, which is banned, so we won't be seeing that, or a fighter.
And if you're wondering why is the black belt banned, tournament organizers decided that the grinding the black belt strategy is particularly powerful with co-op because you can have one player focus on exploration and the other one really just dump time into grinding that black belt, and it's a little bit anticlimactic to just waltz through Topher with the 42 black belt. So really wanted to focus on execution and balance, and so they just banned black belt for the whole tournament. It's always going to be probably a fighter leading that party as a promoted knight with some powerful weapon, and then a bunch of mages supporting them. And that's what they wanted for the purposes of this tournament.
Dark Buddha has taken out Garland and rescued Princess Sarah should they run into Canaria Castle. He takes care of that. Turning in the bottle yielded a heal 3 shirt for Min the Mage. Now he's got a Brack Axe and he's got a loose slab on top of that. Duckling Eternal hitting the jackpot here.
Yeah, excellent exploration, coming up with all kinds of good loose items. Heal 3 shirt is pretty good. Heal 3 is just about the best in-battle healing spell that... I mean, of course, there's Cure 4, but Heal 3 can be very helpful when you're fighting... in Topher, and there's a lot of just those chip damage AoE attacks that the bosses have that are, non-elemental and just tearing you apart. And if you can keep infinite charges, you can a lot longer in those kinds of situations.
Another note, the original Agama trap tile has been shuffled to the eye. So any place that there's an Agama trap tile, it will be an eye encounter. As Darkmoon's checking level 4 magic, I missed level 3. That's Cure 4. That's going to be Red Wizard locked for Darkmoon. But Invis 2 is not in level 4 white magic. Let's take a look at level 3 Fade. Is that what we're being told? We are being told it's level 3 Fade. Thank you, Iring. And there's Temper at level 4
Saber
as well. Mm-hmm.
Saber, we're not going to need too much of, I don't think, when you got 2 knights like that. But Temper at level 4 is pretty key. If
No,
Temper, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Nova has discovered that the Agama trap tile has been shuffled to the eye now. He's taking an extra eye fight or two. Both teams know that at this point.
Yeah, the eye's a pretty classic grind. We just have shuffled trap tiles in this seat, so all the trap tile fights are going to be different trap tile fights that existed in the game. So no crazy side B encounters just yet.
No, it is not. Nova takes another fight with the eye. You know, he spread that information to his partner. Right now, an exploration lead for Duckling Eternal in finding loose key items. They've got the slab and the adamant as well, should they be able to find the dwarf cave. Min the Mage found the ice cave loop, immediately turned around. Ice cave not incentivized here. We've only got one incentivized location. It's the bottom of the marsh cave behind the Mystic Key, which both teams have. The locked chest in the lower right-hand corner of the marsh basement.
Yeah, well, it might not be the marsh basement today. It could be shuffled somewhere. It could be on the top floor of a single entrance. So it remains to be seen just how obscure this place is. But I have a feeling we'll find out before the end of the night.
And the Mage empties out the first floor of the Mirage Tower that he found. He's going to try to do the ice loop.
Yeah, there might not be...
Do you want to tell the fans about how you... Ooh, yeah, that's a blue dragon.
Ooh.
He runs away, checking the blue dragon chest now, not the red dragon chest. Nitz, can you tell the fans a little bit about... Oh, as the Mad Ponies, Murder Ponies take out Min, he lost a lot of progression there. Can you tell the fans about the ice cave loop, how that works, and how it's been kept intact?
Right, so even though the floors are shuffled, there are certain sequences of the game that are kept wholly. Entirety of ordeals, for example, and the depths of the Temple of Fiends are visited. They're not adjusted just because of the uniqueness of all the teleporters within ordeals and just the challenge of the Temple of Fiends are visited. Now, the ice cave, the latter half of it, from the pit room onward, are kept intact as well, because there's a couple of one-way teleporters that really would do strange things if they took you to different places. The nature of the ice cave is that it has a loop in it. You drop through a hole in the floor, and then you drop back into that room, and it has a hole in the floor again. So if its destination were shuffled, there might not be any meaningful way to get back. And then when you fell in a hole the second time after you got back, you would not be able to get back to subsequently where you came from. It's very confusing, but suffice it to say, it is better just to keep it together.
Drix has found the 4th floor of the Earth Cave, taking the bottom route. He's going to check those bottom 3 chests. As Dark Moon now, he has found Elfland Castle. Did he check to see that Un was there? I didn't quite see it. He did.
Yeah,
I went ahead and translated the slab as well.
I like those 4 gold chests. One of them was like $2, and then like $700, and then a few grand, and then like 29,000. Like all the cash was jammed in the last chest.
See if either player from Duckling Eternal, the slab translation is shared. Waking up the Elf Prince, for instance, is not. That's why you see Min the Mage heading directly towards the Lefane town, which is Lefane, it's not shuffled, with a translated slab. He's going to go try to get that translated slab item.
Dark Moon finds Titan's tunnel, but for lack of a ruby, decides to just beat a speedy retreat out of there. Nothing else to do.
Hypes Nova, the Fiend Killer. Takes out Carry. He lights his first orb for Team SolarNova. They take a 1 orb to 0 lead on their quest to win this game to take out Duckling Eternal and move on to the Elite 8.
Duckling Eternal makes it to Lefane with the translated slab from Dr. Un, who was in the actual Elfland castle, not the entrance. They got the tail, and now they don't have to go back to Lefane.
I don't believe we've seen the contents of Melmond and its shuffled NPC. Bahamut could have been sold a vacation package by someone. Could be hanging out
That's a discount trip for sure.
Dark Moon has found the floor of Carry. Does he try to light the first? No, he's jumping in his airship. He's leaving. Min the Mage is headed towards the original Castle of Ordeal. Dark Moon has found Canaria Castle. He's got Princess Sarah Rescue. He gets a Masmoon from the king.
And a Lock 2 hammer. Is the Lock 2 always works? That is not in production, so that feature is not enabled for this. So Lock 2 hammer, mostly a trinket, but you can't sneeze at the Massmoon.
No, Massmoon, highest damage dealing weapon in the game, equipable by any light warrior. Highly sought after, and in general, the most favorite weapon of most players of Final Fantasy as Darkmoon now heads towards the Canaria Armory. He knows where Carrie is, so they could potentially tie it up. Min the Mage has turned around already. I'm not sure what was in the original Castle Ordeal entrance, but whatever it was, Min the Mage is not interested.
So in the vanilla game, question from chat: how often does Lock 2 work? Lock 2 has not got a lot of accuracy, and it misses almost everything. It reduces Fiend's evasion, making them easier to hit, but it itself hits so rarely that it's pointless. But there's an experimental feature in our alpha and beta experimental websites that you can experiment with, for lack of a better word. And one of the features that we're playing with is just making Lock and Lock 2 always hit. And even with them hitting 100% of the time, it makes them a bit more useful, but they're still not like an everyday spell or anything. But that would have made that hammer a lot more interesting.
The Q block was found. Nova, the Fiend Killer, is now found the floor of Kraken. He's going to go after the Fiend of Water. We know he's got a Bane Stick.
Oh, Will. Look in the top right corner. We got TNT, and just before that, we got the Game Changer. I know you're excited about that. We'll see if Darkmoon ends up popping it on later on. He's got the tail, too, but he still isn't promoted yet.
TNT and the Vorpal has been found now for Darkmoon. Min the Mage has found the Bane Stick. Brack and Bane for Nova. He fires Brack at Kraken. That's going to be his entire strategy. He's going to fire as many of them as he can and hope to hang on. Round 1, after 12 hits from Kraken, took out one of the fighters. Ouch.
Ugly. Doesn't take that many tries to bracken the Kraken. You got something like a 11 to 15% chance. Everybody says a different number every time. Oh, there goes one caster.
Yeah. Gonna get a Brack. He can't get it off. Got another shot at it, though.
One more shot. From downtown, broken into pieces. Buzzer beater with the Brack. That's 2 Fiends for SolarNova. You better watch out.
That's right. Nova's firing Brack. You better not let him have Zap. Look out, fans. Solaris Drix is digging the armory floor of the original volcano. Trying to pull something out of there. Darkmoon has found the crystal, along with the TNT. So we got Matoya's crystal. We have seen Matoya. He's headed directly to the dwarf cave entrance, where he can turn that crystal in. What does Matoya have? It's the cube, of course.
Well, can't go wrong with the cube. So, early on here, 22 minutes in, SolarNova on your left-hand side, 2 orbs lit, fire and water. On the other hand, Darkling Eternal has a large lead in Luke to spin that in to a comeback.
Yeah, they've got TNT, they've got the crystal, obviously the cube. Is the cube required? That could be a real advantage. If it's not required, then it could be really a disadvantage. So there's Drix now checking the hairpin chest. It's the Phantom that's been... Oh! 247 and a critical hit. Knocks out Nova. But he's able to get away for 722 gold.
Wow, 56 grand for a gold bracelet.
Ouch.
That's so good. So expensive. At least his entire party can equip chain, and it's actually as good as a silver bracelet, so that'll get you started.
So again, thank you to Melee Wizard helping us out here on crew, noting that the TNT was found in the Sharknado floor. I believe it was in the room itself, and the TNT was in the room just before it, along with the Game Changer. 2 orbs lit for SolarNova. We know that Duckling Eternal does know where at least Carrie is, with potential access to at least 1 Fiend, but they've got a lot more things lit up on their tracker. Both teams have done a lot of exploring, as Hypes Nova now picks up his Excalibur, and he's going to start to tie that up a little bit. He's going to pick up, what else was in the Mermaids? I believe it was the slab, and some other things as well.
Yeah, 2 key items and Excalibur. Place is just packed. So SolarNova beginning to reclaim some of those, some of that item deficit. Won't be long before they're way out in front.
And the mage picks up his ribbon. Solaris Drex picks up his ribbon. It's guarded by the Phantom, but you can get around that. Very accessible ribbon for both players. Nova picks up his adamant. He's got that. So things starting to light up for SolarNova now.
Ooh, that sword is lit. Unfortunately, the Bane sword being converted to a lit sword, not an upgrade.
Oh, it is not, but there is a Bane staff. It could have been the mage staff, could have been the heal staff, could have been the wizard staff. One of those three has been shuffled to a Bane staff. We know that both teams at least have access to it. One player on each team has access to at least one level. No sign of Bahamut yet. Has anyone checked Melmont? I haven't seen it, if they have. So there's
I have a new favorite name for that chest that we found the adamant in. So it was in the bottom chest in the middle of the mermaid's room, which we are now calling the South Central chest.
Gosh. Thank you, Melee Wizard. The elf doctor, the elf nurse was in Melmont. We have no sign of the herb at this point in time. As Min the Mage picks up in the armory the ruby, opening up 4 chests that are behind the Titan.
So with Un and Elf Doctor in Melmont, it's safe to say that Bahamut is casually waiting at home.
Solaris Drix opens up the bottle, has a chit-chat with a tiny fairy. He picks up his heal 3. Sure, things starting to even up now. There's a Grey Naga fight for Dark Moon. He's going to take it out. He's down to 2 warriors, though. It's Duke and Dan. Gets up to level 15 on both of them. Min the Mage is done looting that volcano armory floor. He's going to start to dig deeper. He finds the less than greater than room. Did you name this room, Nitz? Was it you?
I don't know. It might be older than me, but I certainly use the term a lot.
Nova picks up his slab for Team SolarNova. And the mage is going to dig this less than greater than area. He's going to bypass the chests right now. He's going to dig deeper. He wants to know where this goes. It leads to the waterfall. He's going to turn around and check greater than and less than first.
You got to check them all. You got to catch them all. I mean, waterfall's a nice place to end, but or he can just reset right out. Something happened.
Something happened to Min. He's going to go back in. See what he does as his partner Dark Moon starts to dig deeper. He's on some sort of volcano floor, trying to find something, trying to find perhaps Tiamat. We haven't seen the Bridge of Destiny. How about Lich?
There you go.
Okay.
Score 1 for Duckling Eternal.
That's right.
They work to tie this up. Remember, Carrie was on a first floor, so quick kill when the time comes.
Dark Moon's gonna go for it. There's the less than greater than room for Solaris Drix. He picks up an Amute Gauntlet.
Man, Hypes Nova says, forget the light axe. How about the Brack axe? Which we're just gonna call the Bracks. The Bracks. He's bringing back the Bracks. And you better watch out. That's no piece of bric-a-brac. That's a Brack axe.
Nova's partner Drix found a wall stick. That's potentially, again, either the wizard staff, mage staff, or heal staff. So we got a Brack stick and a wall stick. Dark Moon now is the first player to find Lich. He's going to take on Lich. Nova picks up an Aegis shield. Lich attacks and takes out Dean, but Dan, with 4 hits from the Mazmoon, followed up by a Fade that hits hard, and another Fade is going to take out Lich. Duckling Eternal lights an orb.
The wall stick is actually several sticks just jammed into the ground very close together.
And jamming a bunch of sticks into the ground and using that in battle, what can that do when you use those sticks that have the wall spell attached to them? Yes. So what happens in battle?
Nice. Wall's a handy spell, and with these white mage reduced parties, well, we haven't seen many ribbons yet, have we? So Wall gives you a ribbon from the moment it lands on you through to the end of the battle. It provides resistances to all elements for the rest of the battle. It can also be used on someone who has been victimized by Exfer and had their resistances removed to put them back. But I don't know if anyone has ever pulled that off in the course of an FF1 battle, but that'd be pretty spectacular.
Darkmoon's going to restock on some supplies. I believe he's in Canaria. Min the Mage is back over in Elfland looking for level 3 magic. That's Ice 3. That's a good spell. Solaris Drix with a lot more luck than Min had. He's made it all the way to the trap tile, which is a gray worm. It's unrunnable. But he's going to get these 6 chests. And the item from the robot. It's the first we're going to see of this.
Well, Duckling and Colonel really picking up steam here, you know? I didn't catch the first race, but from what I see, they're not giving anything up. They're all fight at this point, and that's good, because that kind of attitude is what you need to do to win. A ribbon in the waterfall floor, and a loot, very important, from the robot himself.
That's required. That's big. That's the Mystic Key and the loot now for SolarNova. Duckling Eternal is missing the loot, but they know where the waterfall is. Min had to bail out. He's got that information. He's got the party built to go in and get that. That's what his job is for Team Duckling Eternal. Looks like he wants to get some supplies first. Hopefully he'll go back there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you can't say no to an NPC location, because those are incentivized, and that would be a critical mistake to ignore that. On the other hand, SolarNova tantalizingly close to Gomo. They're just missing out the whereabouts of Tiamat and also Lich.
I'd like to thank Moist Mogwai, Mama Duck herself, taking care of the restreaming tonight, right here this beautiful Saturday evening. Thank you so much, Moist Mogwai, Mama Duck. Also, of course, Melee Wizard helping up behind the scenes, and joining him is Irongon. Thank you. As past the Q block, Darkmoon has decided to use the cube. He's found the Sea Shrine split. 2 different ways you can go. He's going right.
Oh, this gets so tricky, because these dungeons, almost always, as a result of shuffling the floors, you end up with one sprawling dungeon. Sometimes it even ends up with both forks in the road in it. Both this and Mirage 1. Pardon me, Marsh Cave 1. And we haven't seen any of the Marsh Cave floors, and there's a lot of potential huge time wastes here. On the other hand, we find Tiamat's floor, and this is a big deal, because we know it's Q-block now, and that's one way that they're ahead.
Okay, where did we see Tiamat's floor? We saw...
No. I said if we see it.
No.
If we see it. That's
okay.
big for Duckling block.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Duckling Eternal can tie this up orb-wise. They know right where Carrie is. But Darkmoon's going to continue digging deeper behind this Q block. Is it like some sort of a Tiamat in here? He finds the TFC room. They could start stepping on the gas had they finished the waterfall, which Solaris Drix is trying to walk out of right now. No sign of warp, no sign of exit that we've seen. If it's out there, we missed it, or they don't have charges for it, because Solaris Drix wouldn't be walking out here with it. He's very low on HP.
Yeah, it's a doozy. Warp and exit's so powerful in floor shuffle. Sometimes you can really use them in the dungeons that have the forks in the road too, to get back, to go the other way and stuff. So to not have those is just a drain on both teams. Something you have to push through mentally, because it's just so much more frustrating to know that you're going to have to walk back out. On the other hand, if it's a key item you find, it will synchronize to your teammate, and then you don't have to walk out at all. You can just reset out once you know your team has it.
Drix still with a little ways to go to try to get out of here. Since it is a key item, as he gets a chance to strike first against vampires, he's going to take the fight, but is he out of heal pots?
That's no good. That is no bueno.
Got a heal 3 shirt, see if he can get it off, and he does. Duckmoon's going to take the time to work on this TFC floor, we call it.
Yeah, this is an ugly floor. It's the floor before the mermaids in the vanilla game, and it's just so sprawling and so few chests.
And the mage has returned to Provoca. He's gonna save. Nova is gonna
Aha.
feed the Titan.
Yes, he entered from the Corneria Castle entrance, so that probably happened before Will and I were on the street. Oh, look at that! A ruby locked herb. So, we know where the elf doctor is. She's in Melmond.
We know where the elf prince is.
Yes. So, putting that all together, we've got ourselves another key item. Will it be a progression item or just a huge waste of time? Not sure.
Hooray! Dark Moon has found the dwarf cave. On the right, split off that sea shrine behind the cube.
Could be big.
Ooh.
Chime opens up a whole new dungeon, but whether or not that's valuable remains to be seen. And they also have the adamant, do they not? So I believe they can talk to smiths too. I don't think he went to the smith though, or I missed it.
I don't think he did either. He talked to the Hooray Dwarf and did the chest. He must do that on the way back out. He's still got to walk out. But this could be big for Duckling Eternal, Nets. This is huge.
Yeah, just fingers crossed for the sake of excitement that some big deal. Oh, as soon as the chime synchronizes over, look at that, mid and the mage ready to walk in. See, that's teamwork and communication.
Darkmoon did not turn in the adamant.
I swear they have it.
Did he?
Yeah, they have it. They have it for sure, and I don't think he did. But I could have missed it. Let's hope that doesn't come back and bite him.
If there's a fiend behind this chime lock, that's huge for Duckling Eternal. As Northwest Castle has been found by Solaris Drix. No sign of the crown, though.
Chat saying he did turn it in. Which leads to the vampire. We do not have the rod.
No.
Pardon me. The chime entrance to Mirage Tower, it goes right to the vampire. But I don't think we have the rod. So you're not getting past him.
Thank you, Ermely and Ferdy, and of course Melee Wizard as well. Apparently he did turn in the adamant. It must have been an item. We didn't quite see it. Our apologies, fans. As Hype's Nova translates the slab. Now he's got the herb as well, but they didn't wake the prince, so they're gonna have to leave and come back and talk to the prince when he finally gets up.
Oh, that objective NPC shuffling those helper outers, the elf doctor, Dr. Un, and Muhammad. It is just one more thing to keep track of. Does it make the game any more challenging? No. It just wastes your time a little bit if you're disorganized and forget which is which. And part of co-op is extreme organization. So that flag was added just to add to the burden that these runners have to deal with to win the day. A little extra challenge to keep track.
Nova heads to Melmond, wakes the prince up. No, definitely not in cooperative mode here. This is the inaugural cooperative tournament. This is an experiment, really, in general. It's been put together by Falconic FF. He's the enforcer. Done a great job. We've had a great first week here.
Oh, say hello to the vampire.
Who?
The vampire?
Let's see.
Destroyed the town of Melmond, ravaged them.
Who? Mel?
Burned the clinic to the ground.
Opal bracelet pickup for Dark Moon. That's from Sarda. I believe that was
he's probably responsible. The vampire is probably responsible for all that Melmond tourism, because now they have these beautiful beaches, right? People go to Melmond for the beaches because the buildings have just been destroyed. And the sand, just spectacular.
So after the cube lock, which SolarNova does not have, is a sea shrine split that contains Sarda in an opal bracelet, along with the dwarf cave that has the chime in it. A possible huge advantage for Duckling Eternal. And I believe Min the Mage is digging beyond that chime with the rod block. He does not have the rod. He's got to turn around.
Yeah, I still like the play to clear the whole floor, because first of all, the rod could have been on this floor. And if you turned around, you could have really, really made a huge mistake. The prince wakes up, dishes out the oxyale. Now, again, any value? Not sure. But it does open up a whole nother dungeon.
Finally, someone checks the level 5 magic. Available there, Warp. In the second slot. Nuke class promotion locked in the original Warp slot itself, the third slot. Level 5 black magic.
So the red D chest is now the blue D chest. But
it is.
No big deal, Dark Moon. Dark Moon Firelight just runs away, grabs 5,000 in cash, heads down to carry. And there's a red versus blue joke in there somewhere, but I haven't seen that series in ages.
Nova is headed towards Lefane. Thank you to Melee Wizard letting us know in the background with his translated slab. It will lead to the tail. The tail will be in the hands of SolarNova. That will even the score there with Duckling Eternal. Speaking of trying to even the score, Duckling Eternal's Dark Moon is going to try to take out Carrie and match it up and make it nice and even at 2 orbs apiece, albeit different orbs with Carrie shared. Dark Moon's going to try to do this. He wanted to be stronger. Strike big strikes with the Maz. Carrie fired back with damage poison. We'll see if Dark Moon can take out Carrie. He's close.
Time to turn up the heat here. Yeah.
Ice 3. He's going to try to cool her down. Mazmoon, though, will take care of Carrie.
There we go, yeah. The rest of it was all just show, right? Mazmoon's dough. And at this point in the game, Carrie carved up. Just elegantly sliced and prepared with like those little paper things on the Darkman's out of there. Hey, look at that! Teammate Min the Mage in the marsh upstairs dead end.
Yeah.
Picks up a ribbon.
Picks up a ribbon. This is the bottom. It's the Marsh Cave split that's behind the chime lock. And if you go down in Marsh Cave 1, that's where you end up. Min the Mage has got it. Was that a ribbon right there? Right? Yes.
Yes.
So that's very accessible. We'll see if Dark Moon goes for that as well. We believe he has the other ribbon. And the up split, I don't exactly remember what happened.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Hey, yeah. Dark Moon pops into some warp magic as well. Level 5, he can learn that too with his red mages. He's pretty thrilled about that.
Meanwhile, Drix has found the Bridge of Destiny. He's going to try Warmac Nets.
Why not? Hypes Nova in OnRack is going to check out what's behind the Oxio lock too. So more action on SolarNova's side. Not going to roll over and let these ducklings catch up just so easy.
He's going to try to fast the fighter. He's going to go for damage.
Earth 1 and he's checking chests. So they are in go mode, but they don't really know because they haven't found... Oh no, they haven't found Lich yet, so they kind of don't know if they need key items to get to Lich. They don't, but they don't know that.
Cube. Cube and Chime. TNT. They're missing the rod.
Yeah, everyone's missing the rod, I think.
Darkmoon's going to take out some eyes as Solaris Strix is starting to get pounded by Warmac. 2 physicals took out 2 warriors. But his fighter's still standing along with his Temper Caster.
Yeah, now it should be pointed out that these bosses are clamped. They will have a minimum of 100% of their normal stats and a maximum of 200%, meaning this Warmac, on average, is going to have 1500 HP. So that's pretty tough, and Solaris Strix finds out the hard way. You can't bring a flame sword to a gunfight.
Solaris Strix perishes. We'll see if he leaves or if he tries again. Just last night in Game 2, the Game Changers, the Enforcer Falconic FF, went in and took out Warmac at level 14. It took him 2 shots, but he didn't give up. He was able to get that done. Solaris Strix leaves. He heads over to Cardia Grassy. He's going to dig this dungeon area. Dark Moon's going to do
Grassy?
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't seen much of your, what did you call it? Braxix?
Yeah, the Brax. The Brax.
We got to see a little more of that, I think.
I think the Brax needs to get dusted off, man. He's collecting dust in his backpack. They're like, what's that? He's like, I don't know. You can just use it to turn people to stone or whatever. I don't really use it very much. Everyone else is like, you know? Seems like it might be useful. Certainly works against Kraken 1, but they've already dispatched Kraken 1. It's Tiamat that's a problem, and they haven't found Lich. And if they keep not finding Lich, that's just more and more time for Duckling Eternal to catch back up.
We're even at 2 orbs apiece. Advantage has switched a little bit in key items. It was Duckling Eternal really the whole game, but it's now switched to SolarNova based upon their access to the loot. It's in the waterfall. Min the Mage has been there. He had to reset out of it. He has not returned there. Min the Mage can make that move and head back that way. They will be able to step on it and potentially go after these fiends and try to end this, try to tie this at 1 game apiece. Solaris Strix now headed towards the waterfall entrance. It's Castle of Ordeal. He goes in, sees the guy, turns around, leaves, does a change of clothing, and he's going back in to talk to the old guy. Oh, he's walking right by him.
That guy's bad news, man. Don't listen to a thing he has to say. He's just a doorstop as far as I'm concerned. He's just there to like make sure you take your shoes off. Anyway, you use soap when you wash your hands. Just forget about him.
Dark Food is digging the ice cave loop. We don't think he's going to find anything here from what we have seen. Nova is digging Earth, the second floor. We have not seen the crown yet, Min the Mage, as he finds Northwest Castle. He's going to check the 3 keylock chests, though. Solaris Drix has made it through the pillar maze already. This is new ground, I believe.
Yeah, this is not an incentive chest, so we're here for just all of them in general, because they're all basically loose chests. Now, SolarNova as a team are basically in go mode if they can find Lich, but since they don't know where Lich is, they still are checking to make sure they don't miss any progression in case Lich is progression 1. And there's a crown, for example. So all of these MacGuffins, all of these red herrings may cause them to spin their tires a bit, right? And that's good news for Duckling Eternal.
It is exactly what they are, really, is red herrings. We know that, and fans know that. That crown has been picked up now for SolarNova. They still have not found Lich, and they know where Tiamat is, so we know they're not blocked. The advantage of having the cube and the chime did not pay off for Duckling Eternal. Nitz told you fans about that. Had there been a fiend or something behind there, something critical, that would give Duckling Eternal a huge advantage. But Cardia Force houses Kraken. Min the Mage sees it and he leaves, so he's got that information now.
Yeah, it's curious how much they're finding out where things are, and then opposed to, you know, giving them a shot. Like Kraken, sure, if you've got a couple of Bratcasters, first floor of a dungeon, you saved outside, you know, give it a go. Then it'll save you the trip of ever having to come back if you roll a lucky Brack, right?
So Drix is going to use the Oxyale block. He finds that Earth 1 floor. He wants to skip it, has to turn around. Even with the loot and the Mystic Key, he does not have the cube, does not have the chime. They have not found Lich. They feel that Lich could be behind that chime block, so they've got to keep looking around. Potentially for like a dynamite type situation. Maybe the rod, they just don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a natural tendency to favor the progression items and the things they unlock, where in Floor Shuffle, there are so many, you know, just loose and dead ends that they don't get you to where you need to go. And they know where Tiamat is. Now they know where Kraken is. What they really need to get their hands on is the loot.
Nova did find Bahamut in Bahamut's lair. He was able to class change, so SolarNova has that information. He turns in the crown. Now, he's got the rod. So SolarNova is the first team to find the rod. But Nitz, it's a red herring.
So far as we know.
I believe so.
Yeah, there's not much that could be behind there except for some sort of obscure piece of gear you need. Probably just straight to a dead end.
And the mage doing the Castle Ordeal's Pillar Shuffle. He's almost towards the end of it. We know the crown will be loose in here, which of course will lead to the rod. Nova has entered the armory floor. I believe there's a ribbon that he was looking for. Yes, it was.
Got it.
That's one ribbon for Nova.
There's one here, and there's one in the Marsh Cave upstairs, which is entered through Mirage Tower, if I recall correctly. So that one's a bit harder to find.
Thanks to Melee Wizard, the Volcano Armory. And in the Waterfall, Waterfall and the top floor of Marsh from the bottom split. So that is correct. We have located all 3 ribbons. I believe that's correct, Melee? Yes. Thank you again for all the work that you do. It's been the mage starting to struggle with this teleporter maze. There you go. He makes it to the end.
Got it. Just when you feel like you cannot possibly get it wrong again, that is, of course, when you get it all correct. Just gotta stick to it with that thing and actually have a pretty good memory for all the wrong turns you made.
Honorable Nacho fight for Solaris Drix. Fires an Ice 3. He's able to take out those Nachos. Great experience. As he got a few levels out of it. These teleporters are shuffled on Solaris Drix's screen, lower left-hand side. It's not a basic path. It's kind of like a maze, but it's more of just a cluster, really, to try to find that other teleporter. Can be easy, can be really difficult. Who did that one, Nets? That wasn't Troper, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. He hadn't worked on anything in forever, and then he shows up with shuffling the teleporters, and, like, no one liked it. They're just like,
well,
go back to hiatus, man. Why are you doing this to us?
Remember that when that happened. Gold bracelet pickup from the Mage, and also the crown for his team at Duckling Eternal. That will lead to the rod. The Mage needs to get back to the waterfall. He's got to get back there now.
We had to change it for floor shuffle, because in floor shuffle, all of the places that you arrive have to be known so that they can be shuffled to other sources. So his original version shuffled the entrance to the maze and the exit, but now we just shuffled the exit from the maze, which has the same effect, because not knowing where you're going doesn't matter if you know where you started from or not.
Okay, Min the Mage does not need to go back to the waterfall. His partner Dark Moon is there. This is going to give him the loot. It will come directly from the robot. This will put Duckling Eternal in go mode. Both teams with 2 orbs, both teams in go mode. We know that SolarNova has not found Lich yet, but he's pretty accessible. And they know where Tiamat and Warmack are. Min the Mage and Duckling Eternal know where Kraken is, but I don't believe they know where Warmack and Tiamat are quite yet, but I believe they're very accessible.
I thought I saw Min pop his head in and see the Hall of Destiny and then escape, but I could have imagined that. No, just like that. Definitely knows where Tiamat is. So,
Nova went into the waterfall to get a ribbon. That's 2 ribbons for Nova.
Yeah, with the loot now, both teams in go mode, both teams know where the fiends are, with the exception that SolarNova does not actually know where Lich is, but it's like hiding in plain sight. Darkmoon Firelight just stumbled in and executed him without even a second thought. I'm not even sure where anymore. It was so long ago.
Look at the communication. Look at the right side of your screen, Duckling Eternal. Look at them talk. Where am I going next? Dark Moon's moving. Min is not. They're going over their machine. Are we ready to do this? Can we do this? Can we win this game too? How are we going? It looks like Min the Mage is going to go after. No, he's not. He double checked it was Kraken. He found Kraken. He's going somewhere else. He's not comfortable to do it. So this is the communication between these 2 players. They are talking behind the scenes. They have verbal. Yep. They're in another room.
No, it looks like the plan for them is that Min was going to help with exploration, and Darkmoon was going to be the power party that takes down Topher. But the thing is, Min's party, shoestring though it may be, could probably brack the Kraken, and that might be worth trying now. Just help your teammate out. They're doing hard dungeons. You can shave, a couple minutes off.
We're going to actually bring in Min the Mage live on air here in just a moment. We're going to go chit-chat with them. We're going to see what it is that their plan is right now. Now that we've seen that they've entered go mode and are talking, we'll be Min the Mage will be right with us. We are joined live right now on Random Mania with a player in the game. He's on the lower right-hand side of your screen. He is Min the Mage. Min, it's Wilcleosis.
Hi.
Your partner picked up that loot. What's the plan right now for you and Darkmoon to win this game?
I am going straight to find Bahamut. He is going to go mode Tiamat and Kraken, and we're going to just try and tear through Topher as fast as we possibly can.
And that's the plan for Team Duckling Eternal. Go ahead, Nets.
Your team composition, very different. 2 fighter, 2 red for your teammate. You're packing a thief and rainbow mages. Explain the rationale behind the choices and what the responsibilities are.
So our perspective on having two players in one game is it's not two parties of 4, it's one party of 8 with different jobs. So my job is to be the explorer and blitz through dungeons as fast as possible. He's supposed to grind up slowly and take all the heavy fights and do the heavy hits.
And there you have it from Team Duckling Eternal and Min the Mage himself. Min the Mage, I'm getting you back to your partner. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
There's the plan. No speculation needed. Min is looking
It's
for
like,
Bahamut. Yeah.
I love those interviews, man. That's like Hockey Night in Canada, like first intermission, get that sweaty guy with like the jersey and like the towel. It's like, you're doing great. We're going to get some pucks on the net. We're going to cause some turnovers. I love it. The action's there. Like, you can tell they're distracted. They want to get back in the game and talk to their teammate. They don't even want to answer our questions. I love it.
They do. There was a lot of excitement in Min's voice. You heard that. I heard that when I went down and talked to them real quick privately. They said, we're doing good, Will. And I said, okay, I'm going to take Min. I'll get him 30 seconds. We'll get you back. He said, yep, absolutely. Whatever you guys need, we're able to get that done. So that is the plan right now. As Dark Moon has taken out the Death Machine. He's going to be our first player towards Tiamat. He's going to try to light his third orb, and Duckling Eternal is going to try to take control of this game.
Toss that tin can in the recycling bin. Maybe it's a blue box where you come from. Maybe it's gray. I don't know, but it's full of Warmack. It's time to take on Tiamat.
Incentivized Marsh Cape was the original Power Gauntlet. It was shuffled to the Ice 2 Gauntlet. Duckling Eternal trying to light their third orb. Trying to pull ahead of Team SolarNova and win this match. Nova picks up the Dynamite. Again, they do not have the Chime. They still have not found Lich. They think it's behind a Q block or a Chime lock.
Oh, this Tiamat is no joke. 482 damage on a fighter, excuse me. Not a well-equipped one, to be fair. This one in the back row has all the gear. 10 hits, 220. Not a lot of damage. It's your high absorb. I know what you're thinking, Will. I know what you're thinking, but he's just a fighter. He's just a child. He can't lift the game changer anyway.
Can't lift the game changer quite yet. Solaris Drix finds Canaria Castle. He picks up his Masmoon finally for Team SolarNova. Tempers going off for Dark Moon. Tiamat comes out with a Fire 2. More Tempers. Does Dan have it? Looks like he does. 812 damage. One more strike will take him out.
Yeah. Now it's time to just pick something and cast it. Like, you can waste so much time dilly-dallying here. It's not important. Just get through these two people and attack. And that's maybe a bit of that Duckling Eternal showing through, Like, this is what was important, not those two magic spells. 10 hits, 592. Tiamat's
beautiful. Also
relegated to history. And that's 3 orbs for Duckling Eternal. Don't look now. They're pulling into the lead, and they know where Kraken is.
They have. We heard it from Min the Mage. We brought him in here, and he said Dark Moon is now going to go after Kraken. We believe that's Cardia Forest. He's going to go just a hop, skip, and a jump over. He's parking. He's going after Kraken now as Min the Mage continues the search for Bahamut. SolarNova knows where Bahamut is. They're both class changed. Armor has not been the greatest in this match. Look at them. Look at their screen. Look at Solaris Drix going through his items. Look at that. Well, what about the crystal? We turn the crystal. We do this. Did we do this? Did we do this? What's the problem here? Why can't we find the fiends?
No houses, so no magic charges restored. However, I think Brack was a different level. So if that's the plan, just Brack the Kraken, then more tempers or fasts, I don't think, are available. So that could be tricky if he's going to try and whittle him down like a toothpick.
Solaris Drix, after going through his menu and staring at it, says, let's just turn in the crystal. We know where Matoya's is. He goes over to the original Dwarf Cave, gets the cube. Now he's going to head back to the cube block. He knows right where that is. It's Titan's Tunnel East. So now this is new ground for SolarNova, trying to find Lich.
And it's just a fluke of exploration that they don't have Lich, on lockdown. Like, I don't even remember where Lich was. It was so early game for Duckling Eternal. And a seemingly innocuous check like that, just well-executed exploration early,
Yeah.
And that has proven to be the difference maker, as SolarNova has to chase down all these red herrings while Duckling Eternal follows a fairly straightforward path, fiend to fiend to fiend.
Yeah, one good thing is that both teams, if I'm not mistaken, my apologies if I'm wrong, but the rod block, neither team has done that. We believe it's a red herring that could cost players a lot of time. Was that Death Touch? From the undead? I'm not sure. Maybe they whacked the Black Wizard because he ain't got no armor on.
Here we go. Maybe he did have a house. I see a full slate of charges, so I apologize if he had one more house. Oh my goodness.
What did Kraken take out Dark Moon with? He just whacked him. What happened?
Yeah.
Oh, he's whack him? Alright.
Kraken Honda just living up to his name. Kraken
Now-
1, still no joke. Remember, these
Now,
are... Yeah, go ahead.
You have that happen. You're about to light your 4th orb. You're Dark Moon, and you just got whacked by Kraken 1. Does that make you nervous about potentially moving on to the end game?
Well, the way the fiends are rolled is that Snowflake. So as far as the script shuffling, the first fiends share their own pool, and then Warmech and the rest of the fiends do. So it's not so much the script that's a problem, it's just how many attacks, how much damage. And this Kraken right here just rolled high, but it doesn't affect the others, and you shouldn't let it rattle you just because you hit a speed bump here. That's so typical that one boss is really hard and maybe the next one's a joke, just paper mache. So steel your resolve and fight on. But I might switch to the Brack strats because this is a first floor fiend again. Just start throwing them out. Just go nuts with them. You'll get them one of these times.
Hype's Nova picks up his Mazmoon weapon. The problem for Team SolarNova was they didn't check that Sarda area, that Titan's Tunnel West area. So now they're just picking up their Mazmoon. The other teams had it for some 40 minutes and been able to utilize it.
Utilizing is like a fancy way to use. He didn't just use the Mazmoon, he utilized it. They utilized it good. They've been tearing people up with it. Ask Warmech.
Solaris Drix already found the dwarves. He picked up the chime after the sea split, which was behind the Q block. He did not go the other way to get a ribbon out of the top of the marsh cave, but he has now found the Bridge of Destiny. They're going to try to light their 4th orb. Dark Moon's trying to take out Kraken to light their 4th orb for Duckling Eternal.
Out come the Fade charges. We don't know how much HP this Kraken has because it was brackened on the other side, but not enough. Fade 254 takes it down. Look at that. Dark Moon, Firelight, and Min the Mage, Duckling Eternal, 4 orbs lit. They have the loot. They have the Mystic Key. They know the whereabouts of the Temple of Fiends. Are you ready for some Topher?
I don't think the players are. I don't think either team is. I am. I don't think either team is. A question from chat. Piercing Mountain Knits. What is stun exactly? It was the weapon called stun. Knits, tell us about it.
Yeah, well, someone beat me to the punch, but with Item Magic Shuffle, we take all of the magic weapons that have a spell attached to them, the Defense Sword, the Zeus Gauntlet, and so on and so on and so on, and we shuffle up which spell they have. But the only way to possibly know would be to put that in the name somehow, or just make it so people had to use them to find out what it was. But that seemed kind of like a waste of time and not a lot of fun to discover and keep track for yourself. So we just changed the name of the weapon to the spell at the beginning and keep the icon the same at the end. And the Defense Sword doesn't have an icon. So when it gets renamed, it just gets renamed to whatever spell it casts. And there you have it, the stun.
We'd like to welcome live on the broadcast Duckling Eternals, Dark Moon Firelight. Dark Moon, you just lit your 4th orb after Kraken bashed you. What's the plan for you and your team?
At this point, since I don't have a clue where Bahamut is, I'm saying screw it. I'm putting the Opal Tyrio on my fighter. I just bought a couple golds for my red mages, and I am going straight to chaos.
That's the plan for Duckling Eternal. Thank you, Dark Moon.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, they had a plan, and sometimes those plans don't even work out. You're like, I have a light party with a thief. Only team that's got a thief. I'm gonna running away. I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna find. And to be fair, they won the explore game. They found Lich just standing out in the open very quickly, defeated him early, and that's why they're in the lead. But they couldn't find Bahamut. So let's see if the equipment delta that they're lacking because they can't get promoted before he heads into this final dungeon makes the difference.
Nova was able to eventually find Lich and take him out as both players, and looks like Nova has dispatched of the Death Machine and Duckling Eternal. Dark Moon Firelight is about to enter the Temple of Fiends Revisited. We're going to call it 1 hour and 4 minutes and change, Min the Mage is going to take out some eyes. Duckling Eternal's the first players and the first team to enter the final dungeon.
Clinging to a slim lead. SolarNova's got all their fiend orbs lit, well, momentarily. And they are promoted, and they too have the loot and the Mystic Key. So it's going to be a race to finish line now.
Min the Mage enters the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Less than a minute later, he's got to take out Garland. Once again, we'd like to thank behind the scenes Mama Duck Moist Mogwai taking care of the restream action. We've got Irangam, and we've got Melee Wizard taking care of tracking. He's lead developer Nits. I'm the Smooth Talker, Wookliosis. Thank you to Randomania for hosting us this beautiful Saturday evening as Dark Moon Firelight begins the journey 2,000 years in the past. Duckling Eternal must win this match to force a Game 3.
And having said that, they've got a shot. Dark Moon Firelight on the Earth floor. He's got a Dan with 650 HP. That's a decent level. But he's not promoted. They couldn't find Bahamut. We don't know if that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, the armor situation, I think, is pretty rough here.
Yeah, gold bracelets, they don't leave a lot to the imagination. When that's the only thing you're wearing in Temple of Fiends Revisited. Brings back Dean. Level 2 Dean. He's like, come on, guys, we're gonna save the world. And soon after, he tripped on a rock and was out of it for the whole journey. But he's back.
Does have access to the Masmo. There's a Temper Stick out there. The Temper Spell is out there, as well as the Fast Spell. They have killing power.
Dean comes out swinging 31 damage. He's like, yeah, guys, check that. Dan, 248. Too late, that's it for Dean. But Duck and Duke's still alive. Dan, big swing, 10 hits, 926. Lich is toast. And it's only going to get harder from here. I remind you, these are clamped fiends. Clamped and 200% of their vanilla values for HP. Some of the other ones cannot scale as high as 200%. They scale a ratio of that. But we're always talking in terms of HP when we say 200%. That does mean that Chaos could have up to 4,000 HP and is liable on average to have 3,000, which is a lot of health to go through.
Hype's Nova and Solaris Drix have now entered the Temple of Fiends Revisited. 1 hour, 7 minutes. 3 minutes after Dark Moon. They have a distinct advantage. Solaris Drix is going to the Earth floor. He's looking for levels. So it's on Nova to try to finish this out on this dive. The advantage for SolarNova is that they are class changed and they have life 2 on, in Nova's case, 2 nights.
That's pretty spectacular. That survivability. If your knight is the only thing that makes it through any of the fiend fights, you can bring your whole party back from that. And that's a weakness that Dark Moon Firelight is just going to have to work around. If those red mages both die in one fight, that could be the end of it for them.
An update on how the tournament is going as well so far. The Zodiac Braves, that's Demon Frog and Shadow Walker, they have advanced. They're in the Elite 8, as well as Team Rolf Hates Caleb. Hydra Fellows and Caleb, they're in the Elite 8. We'll get to the other players and teams in just a moment. It's Carrie. Carrie 2 is taking on Dark Moon, standing in the way. 3 Light Warriors still standing. Dan with that 626 HP that Nitz told you about swings a Masmoon and dispatches a Carrie. She's gone. He's going to move on to the water floor. Also moved
Carrie
on to
did
the
not
Elite
roll
8.
well.
No, she didn't. Also moved on to the Elite 8. The Crescent Lake Party Planners just earlier today have moved on to the Elite 8. They're going to have to play Team Rolf Hates Caleb, as well as the Upstarts. That's Dangwoo and Greglypuff. They're in the Elite 8. Rounding out the Elite 8 qualifiers so far, Team Thunderous Recap. They are actually here live in the Discord right now. They're next door in the other room practicing. That's the Buzzsaw, Minochi85, and his partner, Thunderclawed.
Who will join them? Will it be SolarNova? Will it be Duckling Eternal? We're about to
I'm
find
gonna
out.
Dark Moon's making it look easy so far, but he's on the water floor now. He's got to go through Kraken 2. Hype's Nova trying to take out Lich 2. A big swing from the Vorpal. Does it! The game changer terminates Lich 2.
Here's a pesky encounter. Gershard's big eyes. They got poison. They're stunning.
Oof.
It's
3
such a
hits.
waste of time. You gotta get out of there.
He rolled
These
multiple
high-level
hits.
parties. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got all kinds of poison. But we have 4 softs. Let's hope we don't need much more than that.
Solaris Drix is leaving. He's going back to Canaria. The mage continues to take fight after fight. We know that Lich 2 had nuke. Thank you for pointing that out in chat, the Enforcer.
Another problem here for Dark Moon as the wheels begin to come off. Down to 40 heals into the 30s. We still have 2 fiends to go before Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
If you say 20 heals each, that's about 600 HP you can restore after each one of these fights. That is not a lot. Comes in here fully healed up, hoping that these 40 heals will...
Nova has caught up to Dark Moon. His superior party is about to pull Kraken 2. Dark
There
Moon's
you
got to
go.
step on it. There's Fire 3 from Kraken 2. It's causing trouble for Dark Moon. Nova's better prepared for this. He's on Kraken 2.
He's got a full party. They're higher level. They're promoted. They have better gear. That's the difference. 4 hits,
Yeah.
202. The fast coming off just after the attack. Tough turn order there for Dark Moon.
Moon's trying to get it done. Rub is the second spell after Fire 3. Nova's
7
using the
hits,
game changer.
643. He's through. These
Nova.
softy bosses, they don't have a lot of absorb. The Mass Moon's working well. The Vorpal Sword, very useful against high absorb bosses where the critical hit count makes the difference. But when the absorb does not roll high, the Mass Moon's going to come out on top. In this case, it was almost a wash because of how weak the boss was overall. Both opponents now on the air floor about to pull Tiamat.
Nova used the game changer. 7 hits. 700 and some odd damage to dispatch a Kraken. Behind Hype's Nova, for Terrace Drix is making a dive. He's on the earth floor. He's coming in as backup. Hype's Nova has pulled Tiamat 2. Dark Moon's just trying to catch back up. He's about to pull Tiamat 2. Nova's starting to take this game over for Team SolarNova. Tiamat
Bring
2
Dean back.
pulled for Dark Moon. Tiamat has taken out the Black Wizard of Hype's Nova. 3 hits for 49 from Dark Moon. He's trying to raise his evasion. We've got a question from chat from a Rogue Pineapple. We'll get to you in just a moment, my friend. The question is, how does co-op work? Temper Sticks being used by Nova and the Vorpal. 4 hits and 624 from the Game Changer, really doing some damage from Nova. He's really utilizing that Vorpal Blade and its critical hit rate well.
4 hits, 306 on the right-hand side. Couple more tempers coming out. Dan not throwing in the towel. On the other hand, Hype's Nova takes down Tiamat 2. He's going to be heading to Chaos soon.
That's right, the Vorpal did it again. Another 700 damage or so from the Game Changer. Takes out Tiamat 2. Hype's Nova starting to heal. He's going to move on. He's getting encountered, though. It's vampires.
3 hits, 832 for Dark Moon. Tiamat 2 can't have much left for him either. They're on almost the same encounter table. I think Dark Moon ran into those vampires on the other side of Tiamat. Great roll for him there. Both red mages hanging on by a thread.
Nova is through. He's about to pull Chaos. This is for the victory. It's best 2 out of 3. SolarNova took game 1. Hype's Nova has taken over this game. He's going to try to win it.
Ooh! Dark Moon gets through with 1 red mage still alive. Has life magic. Can life to both other party members. And meanwhile, Hype's Nova pulls Chaos. This is a chance for SolarNova to win and knock Duckling Eternal out.
Tempers go off. He's going with the Vorpal Blade. Dark Moon. It's about a 3-round advantage, not even. Oh no! That Vorpal got 1 hit for 1 damage.
That's
okay.
not good.
So Hypes Nova is going to try to adjust. Meanwhile, Dark Moon is about to pull Chaos. Does the Maz Moon make a difference here? Chaos eliminates the Black Wizard.
He's
4
out of
hits.
heals.
Oh,
It's
boy.
chaos time. Drank the
Who
last
cares?
potion. It's the
Dark
last
Moon
pre-battle
pulls
drink.
Chaos. So Nova, Hypes Nova's trying to adjust. He's going to start firing Heat Seekers. Chaos resists it, but the Vorpal Blade. Critical hits for 400 into Chaos. Dark Moon starts to fire away. He's starting to temper himself. Nova with about a 3-round lead into Chaos. Chaos starts to attack. He goes after the top knight of Nova. More tempers going off. Another attack from the Game Changer. 3 hits for 188. Dark Moon's trying to raise his evasion. He attacks with the Maz Moon. 7 hits, only 241 though. Nuclear! There's Nuclear out of Chaos into Dark Moon. There's Nuclear radioactive into Nova.
Yeah, he's opted for Invis 2s instead of Tempers. He's down to just swinging. 6 hits, 300. Chaos takes him down 200. He's down to 193. 6 hits, 304. He's got a long way to go. This Chaos could have around 3,000 HP. Needs a bit of luck. Not gonna get it. Dark Moon wipes. On the other side, things are not looking so great for Hypes Nova. There may be hope yet.
Nova's got to attack with the Game Changer. Now he fires a Sidewinder for $137. Chaos takes out the Red Wizard. Is it the Vorpal? It is! 553! SolarNova eliminates Team Duckling Eternal. They're moving on to the Elite 8, and they've got a date with the Game Changers. GG's and congratulations.
Boy, that was close. That Mass Moon was doing all right damage on all right attack sequences, but that party just was not survivable enough. Chaos's Nuclear wipes him out, and with not enough Tempers in play, just couldn't do the damage. Dark Moon Firelight wipes. Hypes Nova does not. Knocks out Chaos and wins.
Falconic here live in chat is pointing out that Dark Moon he's got to know how close he was. He's got to, for sure. Solaris Drix is going to try to finish this out. Nitz, if you want to take it, I'm going to go get with the teams real quick, and I'll be right back.
Certainly. Twilight Fan Club cosplay crew defeated. Time for Solaris Drix, who has been grinding levels this whole time to get his hands dirty. In fact, he's beyond getting his hands dirty. He's already on Tiamat 2. So, while we're doing that, the question is, how does co-op work? And how does co-op work is probably 2 questions. The first question is, what does Chaos co-op do? And what it does is literally allow you to synchronize the key items that 2 teammates have got. So things like the herb, the floater, whether or not you've translated the slab, those goals are synchronized. They're copied up to a server, which keeps track of them for the team and then reconciles them. And if you, on a regular basis, every so many seconds, it sends a heartbeat out that updates your running copy of the game with everything that your team at point. How does it do this? With a plugin to the BizHawk emulator that communicates with a server running on the net. And because of those 2 live connections, it just sort of sends a heartbeat back and forth from both teammates to the server, and it keeps track of who's on which team and distributes the items. And then that emulator plugin turns around and modifies the tiny amount of RAM running in the emulated Nintendo to put those items back into your inventory. And that is what it does, and that is how it works, and it's pretty sweet. And Meridian created the whole thing just from scratch because he wanted to, and here we are celebrating that with a very exciting tournament. We welcome some of the players today. We have Min, and we have Dark Moon, and we have Will Cleosis back.
Thank you, Nitz, for the explanation, talking about RAM and all that sort of stuff. Looks like Solaris Drix might be calling it here. So we'll get to them in just a moment. Team Duckling Eternal, Dark Moon, Min the Mage, welcome to the broadcast booth. Great game.
Hi.
You led. You did. You led mostly a whole way. Not a huge lead, Nitz, I would think, but they played a great game.
Thank you.
Extremely well explored, but for not being able to find Bahamut, which turned out to be potentially important. The other thing was a slight...
I honestly think that was our downfall here, because my party was completely useless again, and Topher without that tail.
That was a problem. It ended up manifesting right at the end when you lost a heartbreaker to Chaos. But
Yeah.
yeah, your opponents made some exploration mistakes too, and they kind of missed the Sarda area, which meant they didn't
Yeah.
find Lich right away. And because they didn't find Lich right away, they chased down a lot of loose ends while you guys were catching up and working your way into Gobo to pull ahead there. So that's why it was such a thrilling finish.
Well, after our last game against them, when we forgot that we forgot to check Sarda, and Matoya was there, and Matoya had the item we needed to actually finish out the game, I made sure we hit Sarda this time.
You know,
Dark-
it's funny. I just just an aside. It's funny having been in FFR for so long, before NPC shuffle and before all this other stuff. It was like automatic that after you got the floater, you went to start it because it was always going to give you the rod, and you basically needed it. And so now the game has changed so much that people can actually forget to go to Sarda, and it just blows my mind that that can even happen.
Team Duckling Eternal, Dark Moon live on the broadcast. And you were the first player and the first team to enter the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Your opponents entered 3 minutes after you. You said, I'm going in, Will, and I'm going for it. You made it all the way to Chaos. It was that close. Tell us about the fight with Chaos that you almost had.
I think it all just came down to turn order, honestly, and what Chaos wanted to throw out to us at that point. It's just he managed to get some of my guys down before I could get my buffs done the rest of the way. I had a couple of Invis 2 charges I had saved for him that he wiped out with one of my red mages because I didn't have the heal pots to heal the red mage up the rest of the way. It was a war of attrition for that entire Temple of Fiends, and he managed to win the war there right at the end. And if I could have gotten those Invis 2s out, I think I would have survived his physical hits. And that would have at least let me have a little longer. I was doing the damage. I just didn't have the energy to survive.
Min the Mage, can you tell us about Duckling Eternal, how your team formed?
Our team kind of just formed because Falconic announced the tournament, and then Dark and I were like, hey, we're Ducklings, let's team.
That was really it.
That's pretty much how it happened.
And up popped Duckling Eternal. We'd like to welcome the winners here. Moving on to the Elite Eight.
And GG's, guys.
GG.
Yeah, GG.
It is Team SolarNova, Solaris Drix, and Hypes Nova. Hypes Nova, the Fiend Killer. The whole way. Nova, you took out multiple Fiends. You went in after Dark Moon, took out Chaos, and you won the match. Was that your plan?
Yeah, the double fighter I've been running was, my plan is I'm going to kill stuff, and our backup is Solaris is going to be leveling since he's running Fighter Rainbow. And that ended up working out a little bit well then, because we had practiced Thief strats before, where one of us were running like Fighter, Thief, Red, Black, and it didn't work out too well. So we ended up just ditching the Thief.
Solaris Drix, with you in that role, the limited access to warp and exit, did that hinder you?
A little bit, but just gotta push through, right? Once he found exit, I went straight there and make my job a heck of a lot easier.
Congratulations again, Team SolarNova. Moving on to the Elite Eight. Nova, you've got a date now with the Game Changers. Have you guys talked about that at all? Or is it just get through game at a time? Now you're moving forward to the Game Changers. What's your plan? Tell me all about it.
Well, I think I've thought about it plenty. My plan personally is I'm gonna talk to some people in the community. I'm gonna see what they have, like what advice they have to give. See what happens. Gonna take it a game at a time. See if we can take one, and then if we do, take another.
Yeah,
just take it one game at a time.
Don't tell Will too much because he's half the Game Changers. I think he's looking for the insides too.
Well, I expect him to do the same thing.
Yeah. We'll bust out some more Zap strats on you.
Yeah.
Duckling Eternal, sadly we have to say goodbye after this match.
Oh well.
Co-op, such a short, sweet. I mean, they can't all be winners. But what was it like to come up with this co-op team, practice, and then participate in the early stages of this tournament versus just playing the game on its own?
Oh, that implies we practiced.
I mean,
I think before this we've played a total of 2 games together just because of schedules and everything else that was going on. But no, Mint's been a great
practice.
Mint's been a great partner. I really enjoyed working with him. Once we worked out the kinks and everything that was going on. I feel like we really started clicking together. Our weird party comp really seemed to work well, and I mean, I think for what we were doing, we were able to get a nice little edge on some of what we were doing. I wish we could have played just a little longer in the tournament just to really like explore it out.
I also wish we had gotten Bahamut and Clash Change both seeds, but I'm not salty.
So close. And
Yeah.
Dark Moon probably knows because he was there, watched himself wipe, and then only like 30 seconds later
Yep.
probably saw that dot done. So like for Hypes Nova, who actually did win, you don't really get to know how close it really was. But if you go back and watch this video, you'd be like, boy, they really, it's amazing because you passed them on Tiamat, but then actually were a little slower on Chaos, and Dark Moon pulled Chaos second, but was doing more damage with the Mass Moon, but still then just perished because he didn't have as much buffs or as many levels or as good a gear other than that.
Mhm.
And just an incredibly close, hard-fought battle on both sides. Hold your heads high. You may have lost 2 in a row, but just barely. And that could have easily gone your way.
Yeah, very exciting match. Thank you, Duckling Eternal. And
Thanks.
thank you for everything you guys do. You guys work with us. You hit the microphone. You help us behind the scenes. We can't thank you enough. And so maybe we'll have more time for that now. Thank gosh. Over here. I
I
want to
love hanging out with everyone.
thank you, man. I want to go back to Nova real quick here. I saw a lot of use of the Vorpal blade there, and very successfully. Is that something that you have been doing in practice, or was it just there? Because you had access also to the Masmoon. What was your plan there?
So when I swung with the Vorpal and hit once, I knew it was a decent evade chaos, but I still wanted to stick with the Vorpal because I get a little bit more consistent damage. It ended up working out, but hindsight, I should have had the Masmoon on the fighter that I put in the bottom slot.
Well, the
It
Vorpal
has
got you
worked.
there.
Yeah, it definitely did have my back for a couple of those fights. Like that Kraken and Tiamat went down so easy. I practice it a little bit. It's really not a thing where I must have it, but it's nice to have. So if I have the Vorpal, I'm gonna use it.
We're winding things down here on co-op. It's the Sweet 16. Once again, congratulations to Team SolarNova. They move on to the Elite 8. We've only got a few matches left here as we move on to the Elite 8. That'll be starting here in just a couple days. We're going to move on to final thoughts. We're going to start with Team Duckling Eternal and the man that was so close to taking Game 2 here, Dark Moon. Final thoughts on either the match tonight or co-op in general.
I love co-op. I think co-op's a great time. I've played a few other co-ops just randomly with people, 2, 3, 4 people. There was I think a giant 8 game I played with Falconic and a bunch of randos just showed up for it. It's a blast. I think co-op is a great feature. It's one of those things that sets FFR apart from a lot of the other randomizers there. I love playing it. I love being in this tournament, even if it was only for 2 whole games. I'm going to be smarting over that chaos for a while though, because at least we could have taken it 3. Oh man.
It was close, Darkbone. I'm telling you, it definitely was. Min the Mage, tell us about co-op.
I think honestly, co-op is one of the most fun things I've done in a video game in recent memory. I think playing a game like this with someone else has been a whole lot of fun, and this tournament has been one of the most fun things I've ever done.
Love it.
Yeah. I think that one of the cool things about co-op is that you actually get to play voice chatting with a person too, besides just sharing items, and it makes it much less lonely and much less like you're just sitting there by yourself playing video games silently, just hoping you're faster than the other guy. Now you have that personal coach with you, your teammate that you can play with, and they can encourage you and they can share stuff, and I think it works out really great. Other side of the table, SolarNova, tonight's champions, moving on to the Elite 8 to face Will and Falconic, the game changers. I'll start with Hype Nova. Your final thoughts going into the Elite 8.
Yikes. But I'll say just on this match, as soon as I got to chaos, I pre-typed my done, and then I'm about halfway through. I'm assuming halfway through the chaos, and I see start to type in chat, and I started losing my marbles.
Dude, you don't know how much I freaked out when I saw you.
We were both.
We freaked each other out.
We were both like screaming at each other. I was like, "Hurry, kill chaos!"
And I was like, oh my gosh, this person is typing. Oh, it's over. And then I'm on one fighter and I get that last crit with the Vorpal and it gets through. And I was
So it was
very
close for
excited
you
that
on
we
Chaos,
squeaked.
just like it was for us then.
Yeah, I just barely squeaked through.
Ah.
Oh yeah. And Solaris Drix, final thoughts.
Great game, guys. Push us right to the limits. Really looking forward to our match against the Game Changers. I'm sure they'll pull no punches.
Yeah. You have fun with that. That's
I mean, Falconic defeated his own wife to get to the Elite Eight. There's nothing else.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
And you hear all this laughing, and this is co-op Nits, created by Meridian
co-op is
BC.
great.
And this is just so much fun. It's more than I ever expected. I expected it to be fun, Nits. It's been great.
All righty. Well, on behalf of our restreamer, the aforementioned Moist Mogwai, and our tracker tonight, Melee Wizard, and my co-commentator, the smooth talker, Will Cleosis. I am Nits __. The underscore so nice I underscored it twice. You're watching the 2019 inaugural co-op Final Fantasy Randomizer Tournament on Randomania. And it's summertime, and the weather is beautiful. And we will see you all next time. Good night, everybody.
Revive the power of the orbs.